The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Scottsdale, Arizona, on your new fire apparatus, job number 30414. Please utilize this job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment. Let's get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. Starting at the base of the front bumper, you'll find right and left dual air horns. Moving up from that location, you'll find right and left dual mechanical sirens. Moving just to the center, you'll find a forward-facing electronic siren. Moving up onto the top of the bumper, you'll find two latches which accesses the full-length cover for your front bumper line. Moving up onto the body, right and left turn indicators. Moving just inside of that into the headlight cluster, high and low beam headlights with the low beam on the outer and high on the inside. Moving up from that location, you have 4 emergency warning lights. Just located under the Pierce logo, you'll find the latch to operate the section for the hood. Moving up onto the windshield, this is a seamless 3 windshield wiper windshield. On the outer edges, you'll find your 2 mirrors and also convexed and flat. Up onto the brow, you'll find your running lights. Moving further up, you'll find your emergency warning light bar. Moving just inside in the center, you have a forward-facing floodlight. Moving up to the very top, you'll find your multi-directional GO lights. These are spotlights controlled with inside the cab. Looking underneath the front bumper, you'll find drains for your 2 front bumper lines located on the right and left-hand side. Located on the side of the apparatus, this is the passenger side, you'll find an access door. You'll also find an emergency warning light. And up from that location, a side-facing light. Close-up view here of the light clusters in addition with the turn and head and also warning lights. Generalized view here of the mirrors. Let's move down to the front bumper and take a look at your front bumper. These are the 2 right and left-sided access doors to gain access to those 2 front loads. Here's an image with both sides open in addition with the front bumper in the first section open. Once it's open, they all the way expose all of the hose lows. I would like to remind you that just underneath this, when you open it, there are 2 warning indicators that these are not step locations. This is also location on the far side of your 1.5-inch discharge and also on the passenger side, an 1.5-inch discharge. Underneath the Pierce logo located under the front, reach your hand underneath, you'll find your access latch for accessing the hood. Once that hood is opened, you'll find on the left-hand side, this is, or I should say the passenger side, this is going to be your windshield wiper fluid. Moving just to the right, you'll find access for your coolant. You'll also find instructions and also the cab tilt lever on the right in red and the push button in yellow. These are the instructions for raising and lowering the cab. This is the mechanical switch here or electrical switch for opening to activate your cab raise and lower. To the right, this is your power steering fluid indicator. Moving up to the top, you also have in your light bar an Opticom forward facing. Close up here of the GO lights, once again controlled from within inside the cab. Forward facing floodlight. Generalized side view will break down some of the components here with on the side of your apparatus. Let's start first with the mirrors. You can also see on the passenger and driver side you have a slightly rear-facing camera. This is your auto charging system.
the shore power inlet, 20 amp plug. Looking down at the wheels, Goodyear wheels, Alcoa rims with a Stemco visual indicator for the hub. Generalized view here of the side of your apparatus. We'll talk about some more components here. At the very top, this is a visual indicator for your tank level. Underneath the apparatus at all points of entry, there are perimeter lighting. This is going to be the side of the operator for the pump panel. This is the lower section here. We'll talk about some of those components. In the upper left, you have your air supply and air inlet and air outlet chuck. Moving to the right, you'll find your large diameter intake, your foam function, which is a 2.5 inch reduced to 1.5 inches. You'll find driver side 1 and driver side overrides in the red and yellow for driver side number 1 and number 3. At the very bottom, you'll find your drains. Moving to the very far right, your auxiliary side inlet, 2.5 inch. Moving up to the very top, you'll find some warning labels regarding hazards for entanglement, fall, and also pressurized caps. As we open this first compartment door just above, this is the access for your crosslays, and also a load for at the very top, and also backboard storage. This is a dead lay, indicating that there are no pre-attached lines to this. Moving to the right hand side, you see a through compartment here for potential board storage. These are the crosslays, crosslays 1 and crosslay 2 in yellow and white. Located in between those two indicators is a lever to allow you to remove those crosslay holders. You can see it now in the deployed or pulled out position. Underneath, you'll find your air tank drains. These are simply just pulled down to allow the water to evacuate. Generalized view here of the roll-up door with your pump panel. Let's talk a little bit about the pump panel starting at the very top. This is a light indicator regarding your pump engaged. Moving down, you'll find your foam A tank, master intake, master discharge. You'll also find your vacuum and test port. In the upper right, you'll find your PCM fault and also an audible alarm. Down at the very bottom, you'll find all the way across your discharges, which are locking and foam capable. On the side, you'll find your air horn in red, reel, rewind, and step lights. Generalized view here of the pump panel. We'll talk about some of the components here. Let's start first with your Class A tank foam. This is the control module for that. To the right, this is going to be the EXM. This is for your master stream device on the roof. You also have installed an extender to allow that to raise above the cab height. Just beneath that is also an additional remote. Generalized view across the bottom of the drains, in addition with on the left a plaque for your service manual, and also a warning label here regarding the use of your owner's manual. The service manual is for 150, 200, and 250 psi. This is the location of all of your drains located across the bottom, individually marked. Behind this access door, you'll find your foam lever, in addition with your manual pump override. Generalized view to the compartment just to the rear of the pump panel. You have a variety of pull-out style compartments. They are simply pull the cable here, which allows to retract both of the levers, allowing it to be pulled out in a downward position for easily access. As we look at the very bottom, this is a pull-out shelf here, and the next two shelves up from that location are the same style. Moving to the section just above the rear wheel, you'll find bottle storage with bottle storage straps. Moving to the rear, you'll find your access for your DEF and also for your diesel fill. The blue is DEF, the silver cap is your diesel, clearly identified and marked. Center compartment here, roll-up style locking door, has an additional shelf here. It is the style that pulls out, once again with the cable, allowing it to release both mechanisms, and it pulls out and downward. Moving to the rear compartment, you'll find two additional shelves and also a pull-out shelf at the very bottom. There are also three 12-volt DC access points. These are barrel-style 12-volt access. In addition, on the right side, you'll find an additional 12-volt DC outlet. This is now demonstrating the shelf in the downward position, once again locking compartment doors that are roll up. As we move just to the bottom section of that location, you'll find the location of storage for your folding wheel chocks. Underneath the rear of the apparatus, you'll find once again perimeter lighting. Generalized view here of the rear of the apparatus. We'll talk about components next. Starting down the lower left, you'll find your backup, turn, and brake. On the right, you'll find the pole storage and also a 10-foot attic ladder. On the very bottom in the rear section, you'll find this drop-down shelf in addition with a roll-up door and components with inside for storage location. This is a fixed adjustable shelf. Looking overhead at the very top, this is going to be the dividers for your hose bed. As we look to the right-hand side, same concept with brake, turn, and reverse. There are also some switches located here for your rear scene lights. Moving inside, you'll find this hand operation for your hydraulic rack. You'll also find next to it the powered equipment rack. This is the electrical over hydraulic. You'll also find a variety of different emergency and step lighting. This is location for pole storage once again, 4 slots for that. Overhead, you'll find your equipment rack. On the left-hand side of the apparatus, you'll find this style of ladder, which is a pull-out and allows it to retract downward to gain access to the above section of your apparatus. There are some warning labels here regarding pinch hazards. Be cautious while you're lowering and restoring the ladder. Demonstrating now in its full extended position. Over the top of the apparatus, you'll find that your diamond plate has easily visible markers to indicate the edges so that firefighters or personnel do not step off the edge in the evening hour. You have a fully enclosed hose bed cover in addition with 4 storage locations on the passenger and driver side. Demonstration here with those covers in the open position, which the ladder rack must be moved outward to gain access. Here the compartment storage with additional lighting within each of those compartment doors. Moving just to the side, this is going to be the passenger side. You'll see the red and blue reels. There are also controls here regarding the use of those reels for deploying rollers on the very top of that. You can see those pictures now. Generalized view here of the top of your apparatus. You can see that you have 2 work lights located in the top. You have your water fill located on the left, tank foam A on the right-hand side. Just above that is the hydraulic fluid. This is the reservoir for storing that hydraulic fluid. You can see this is the equipment rack hydraulic reservoir with the fill cap in red down in the lower corner. This is your booster line electric reel. Let's move to the passenger side of the vehicle, starting in the rear. This roll-up door here, once it's opened, you'll find inside the location of that red and blue reel for hydraulic, and also pull-out shelves and tool mounting locations. As you can see, they're clearly identified by the color of the reel for the hydraulic reel rewind, for red and for blue. We'll now move to the center section of your apparatus. As we open the compartment doors here in the center, you'll find a pull-out shelf on the bottom and a pull-out slightly bend-down shelf in the top section area. This is for easy tool access. You'll also find bottle storage in this location with tether straps for secure and safety. You'll also find 2 additional bottles in the front section with secure straps. As we move over to the large compartment roll-up, down in the lower left-hand corner, you'll find an exhaust information regarding the heated temperatures of that exhaust. In this compartment, you'll find 2 fixed adjustable shelves on the top, and just above those 2 adjustable shelves, you'll find 12-volt DC outlets in this location. The very bottom has a pull-out style shelf that tilts down, in addition with the shelf on the very bottom that pulls to the outward position. This is the warning label regarding exhaust that is extremely hot. Currently displaying your ladder in the downward position. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side of your apparatus. We'll move now to the compartment here, which is just beneath the crosslay. This is the offside pump panel. This houses a variety of warning and caution labels, in addition with your access for your passenger side inlet for the electric valve. Down at the very bottom, you'll find also the overrides for the green large diameter and for the 2.5 inch in orange. These are the drains located at the very bottom, and also the water strainer drain. We're now moved inside to the cab. This is a warning label regarding the use of safety seat belts. Clear image of your Scottsdale Fire Department logo. We'll start now in the in the driver's side. First, let's start at the door. You'll find once again those warning labels and also the air activated steps when the door is opened. Behind the seat, you'll find your auto charger. This is when you're plugged into shore power. You'll also find highly identifiable red seat belts for easy visual identification. This is looking from the front to the rear to the two forward-facing rear seats. Underneath the driver's seat, you'll find full controls here for air ride adjustments and comfort. Down at the foot level, you'll find your Pierce information placard regarding the VIN number, date of manufacture, specific fluid types. There are also two caution and warning labels here regarding diesel exhaust. On the actual front section of your apparatus, you'll find your diagnostic ports and ABS diagnostic and engine. In the red, this is the quarter-turn master battery switch. Moving up from that location, you'll find your ignition, start, and hazard warning lights. Also located in this area, you'll find on the telescoping steering wheel, push for telescope and pull for tilting. Once again, these are the ignition, start, and hazard lights. Moving just inside of that, you'll find the small switch EM, emergency master, your headlights on off, and panel rocker switch. Generalized view here of the front dash. On the right hand side, you'll find this indicator, OK to engage the high idle, and the high idle switch. Located in this vehicle, you have SRS airbags and also steering controls for all your emergency lights. Generalized view here of the console. We'll talk about that and break down those components next. This is your parking system brake, pull to apply, push to release. In the center, you'll find your zone defense. This is your camera monitoring system. Just to the right of that, you'll find your Allison transmission pad with an indication to pump in neutral. Moving further to the right, you'll find your pump pressure, and you'll also find your tank visions for water and foam. This is also location of the control for your go light, and also a set of switches or push button switches just beneath that. At the very top section, you'll find your mirror control for the left and right and convex mirrors. This is the location of your climate control, heat, air conditioning, and defrost. We'll look overhead of the operator. First, let's start in the upper left-hand corner. This is the height, length, gross vehicle weight rating, and also has your job number on that. Moving further to the right, you'll find emergency master, roof lights, front warning, side, lower, rear, upper, high beam, and opticom. Moving just to the right, you'll find your air horn, electronic siren, mechanical siren, your cornering scene lights, driver's side and passenger side, front and rear scene lights. Moving over to the center location, you'll find a map reading light in addition with siren control. Generalized view looking over to the passenger and center area. We'll talk about these components in the next few minutes. Let's start in the very rear of the apparatus. You have two rear-facing SCBA seats. Looking from the front to the rear, you'll find your two outward compartments and two center closely mounted seats. Here is a generalized view of those SCBA seats. These are the rear-facing SCBA seats and the mounting bracket. In between those two seats, you'll find this access door in addition with two 12-volt access barrel-style plugs. Located behind this is your daily maintenance checks for oil and transmission. Looking behind the driver's seat, you'll find the auto charger. When plugged into shore power, this will activate. Moving to the outer sections of the rear section, you'll find two roll-up compartments with adjustable shelving and roll-up doors. Located in between the two forward-facing non-SCBA seats, you'll find 12-volt access points. Let's go ahead and now move to the front passenger seat. Looking at the front passenger seat, it is equipped with a supplemental restraint system airbag located in the front. As we look at the center console area, you can see at the very front you have your go light control and an air horn located in this picture here. The push button is your air horn. On the right hand side is your go light control, which is the spotlight on top of your apparatus. Just behind this in the center console, you'll find two barrel style 12-volt access points, in addition with a parking brake. Just forward of that location, you'll find your vehicle data recorder port. Overhead in the passenger seat, you'll find a reading map light, in addition with a Panasonic head radio and also your speedometer. Over that seat, you'll also find your seatbelt indications, control for the siren, and also control for your PA system. Located in the center is a warning light for doors or compartments ajar. Generalized view here of your apparatus with the cab tilted. Congratulations, Scottsdale, Arizona, job number 30414 on your new apparatus. If you have any questions or discrepancies with the information within disclosed of this video, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.